Mr. Khan, last word, if you can be brief. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This session is about human capacity building and using information and communication technology. Let me give you one example of an enormous problem that all our countries face. We have something like 35 million untrained teachers in developing countries, and bulk of them in sub-Saharan Africa. A normal teacher training program requires a teacher to spend roughly 2 years in a residential teacher training college. You just multiply 35 million with 2 years, and you get a figure how many million person years you need to train those people through a conventional system. So these 35 million untrained teachers already are in the system, and you cannot close down the education institutions. As we speak, many more join the rank of untrained teachers simply because educational processes have to continue. Countries do not have trained teachers. How do you train them? Can you do that without applying the information and communication technology and innovative methods of teacher training? Does it really have to be a 2-year teacher training program? For primary education, for junior high school education, for secondary education, for senior secondary? So the point I'm trying to make is that there has to be a change in our mindset in order for us to address practical issues with practical solutions. There is no escape from that. Whether it's in the field of health, education, transportation, technology has brought benefits to society, and frankly, as we advance technologically, we must seek solutions. I'm not saying that technology offers all the solutions. I think that would be not a collective statement to make. Yet, we must use the multiplier effect of technology. On the question of knowledge acquisition and sharing, tomorrow at UNESCO, we are presenting 2 awards on the institutions that have made best use of information and communication technology in education. One is Shanghai Radio and Television University in China. And the other one is right here, e-learning program headed by Hoda Barta. She should be in the audience. If not, she will be soon joining because she's listed as one of the speakers in the next session. So, nobody has a monopoly on knowledge. Knowledge is something that is truly, that several years ago, who would have predicted that China's Radio and Television University will be one of the winners of such a technology, such an award instituted by UNESCO. And this award has been instituted by King Hamad of Bahrain, who has introduced these smart schools, King Hamad smart schools in Bahrain. So the point is that things are changing, and the greater the acceptance there is of new ideas, new technologies, new innovations for the benefit of society, the better it will be. That's the message that I like to give. Thank you very much.
Okay. Would you join me in thanking our presenters for attending and to thank you for the participation. I think with that we close the session. We have till 1 o'clock break, and then we'll resume for session 5. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. This is our last session this morning, our before last session this morning, and we are very privileged to have excellent speakers here from Egypt, from the Arab countries, who will introduce some of the success stories that took place through their own experience, and we are hoping to have a feedback from you. However, I would like, before we we start, to expand slightly on the excellent and inspirational speech of Dr. Talal Abu-Ghazaleh yesterday. It was really an inspiration to the work we are doing now. And I would like particularly to underline 3 points that he has made. One was the importance of raising the quality of education, and we heard this again this morning by our colleague from UNESCO. The other is about the importance of freedom. I don't think this was underlined enough. And the third is about Arab cooperation. So let me start first by education, which I think is the main concern in all our countries. The quality of education has long been neglected, has long been a neglected priority in our countries. And I believe that just as access, as was said this morning, or the availability of education is, the quality of education is just as important in building the foundations of knowledge. So improving the quality involves inculcating basic capacities for self-teaching, developing people's analytic and critical faculties, all of which spur creativity and innovation. These are the two things that are really missing today in our societies, creativity and innovation. And I believe that this is linked to the second point, which will be the protection of freedom. Now, education implies a profound reform, if we want to get to the knowledge society, of Arab education systems, particularly the methods, which need to be more student-centered and not just giving patronizing, as they do in our schools and in our university. And this should be encouraged through teams and projects and more self-evaluating in all dimensions of learning. It is also important to create an efficient system for lifelong learning. We have not heard enough from our friend from UNESCO on the system of lifelong learning, which is extremely important because it is flexible and developing with times according to the changes in the world. Two goals will be achieved if we do improve the quality of education. One is to combat all forms of illiteracy, and two is to furnish graduates of the education system with opportunities to enlarge their knowledge, sharpen their skills, and develop the new capabilities demanded by a competitive and constantly changing employment market. Because the whole idea at the end of the day is to have graduates who are employed, but also employable. Another important point is that women merit priority in adult learning. Not least because among those many who suffer today from illiteracy in the Arab world, women are the most affected. Sorry. So to speak of creating the knowledge society in the Arab world is to understand that high illiteracy rates among adult Arabs, and especially women, is intolerable if we want to get to a knowledge-based society. A serious campaign to stamp out illiteracy in the region within this decade is a task for all Arab countries and joint Arab organizations. It should also become one of the priorities of the Afro-Asian initiatives that we are here to launch. Such an important project is a natural and proper sphere for joint cooperation.